Now, the first message that was put up there was Jason Tyler requesting Umbrella Grape, Kayla, to send me a big pile of stuff about Brian Hale. So, first of all, Wake Up UK, Clown, Joker. Why involve Kayla? Why not come to me directly? You've got my number. You may be blocked on WhatsApp, but you've got my number regardless. Many people have got my number. You could have asked many people to unblock you from WhatsApp so you could speak to me directly, but you don't want to do that. You want to involve Umbrella. But then a couple of weeks down the line, you'll be the first one to say, oh, she's a drama queen. So, first of all, you should be coming direct to me if that's what you want to speak to me, or send something to me. You come to me and me only. Now, the stuff that's been sent over, I'm going to go through and I'll address point by point, because that's what adults do. It's not what you've done, Justin, Jason, whatever you want to call yourself today. That's not what you've done any step of the way. What you've done is run away, making mass reports, getting stuff, strikes, takedowns, channels removed. I've lost count of how many channels I've lost to you, and I wear them all as a badge of honour. I've got all the videos of just takedown after takedown after takedown, and all you've got to reference it from is the titles. It's very obvious what you don't want to come out. As I say, I've said on a previous video, your last community's gone. It's disappeared. Now you found home in two other communities, Wendy Woo and Wash Channel. I couldn't really care less about either, to be honest. It's only in the recent weeks that I've even come across him, so it's neither here nor there to me, and it's neither here nor there to Umbrella, just so everyone's aware. So we're going to go through the messages that have been sent over from Jason Tyler. Apparently I've picked the wrong side, blah blah blah. I haven't picked any sides. I haven't picked any sides to anything. I'm not in any groups. I'm a lone wolf, simple as that. Same as Umbrella, she's not part of any groups. As far as I'm aware, none of us really do groups. I definitely don't do groups. I'm pretty sure Umbrella doesn't do groups and hasn't done for the last year, so nobody's picked any sides, is the truth. That's where we stand, and nobody wants to seem to deal around that situation. They'd rather stay in the land of echo chambers and allegations, lots and lots of allegations. I deal in facts, I deal in evidence. Right, let's go through this.
Hi Kaylee, I'm still listening, but I've got to the point where you said about all the impersonators that are copying you, and you said about one of them was even using a picture that only I had. And I was scratching my head thinking, what picture is that? Because I know how that looks and how that sounds. That looks like if I'm the only person who had the picture, then I can be the only person using it to impersonate you, so therefore I'm the person that's made up troll accounts, soccer accounts that look...
Sorry, let me just put the phone a bit closer. When Jason starts getting awkward and whatever, he's got a very strange particular nose whistle, as you'll hear. I'll just pull it back a little touch. One second.
Soccer accounts that look like you. And I can assure you, this may not mean much to you, because the person using it to impersonate you, so therefore I'm the person that's made up troll accounts, soccer accounts that look like you. And I can assure you, this may not mean much to you because of where we are right now, but on my kids' lives, I have not made up any troll soccer accounts in your name. I really haven't got the time for that. I really haven't. But yeah, what picture is it? Because if I see it, I might be able to shed some light on who else might have that picture.
This is sounding dubious as fuck straight away. So, Nervous Nose Whistle. Jason, by the sounds of it, is the only person with the picture that could have the picture. He says he hasn't got the time. Bear in mind, Jason, wasn't you trying to troll my account with my new account after you shut my other account down at 5 o'clock in the morning? Now, I know why I was up, but why was you up at 5 o'clock in the morning trolling an account with 5 subscribers and a 3-day-old account? So when you say you haven't got time, you sound a little bit disingenuous, to be honest. And this is just in the first message, first quarter of a message, half a message.
I'm trying to think of a picture that you sent me that I don't know which one you mean. And I'm sure at some point during our WhatsApp chats, there must have been a picture that you sent of some kind. I don't think I would have shared it, but if I can see which one it is, it might trigger something in my memory that says, okay, yeah, that's been used here, there, or, but to see a soccer account made it with a picture that only I've got, that only leads to one thing, that I must be the person using it, and I'm not. So it'd be good to get to the bottom of that. Just to make it make it clear that it isn't me that's doing that to you, because honestly, I would not and have not got the time to lose soccer accounts. Yeah, do you want to send me the picture or send me a screenshot of the person that's using a picture, and I can see what I know about that.
See what I know about that. Is this guy for real? I did say a while back comedy might have been more his thing. By the sounds of it, he's the only person who's got the picture, but he's denying all accountability. It's definitely not him. So I'd love to see this person in court, and it may come sooner than he thinks. Bear in mind, this man lives in a caravan. Now, I'm pretty sure there would be not a lot to do after it starts to go into the evening or whatever. So, time on his hands, he's got bags of time, and I can assure you of that. The amount of devious stuff that he did, to the amount of people he did, for the hate campaign that was put on myself and others. He's definitely got time on his hands. Emma Ward was attacked savagely for weeks and months and months. Doxed, children doxed. Joanne Solis doxed, children doxed. Made out she was a handler, my handler. All on their platforms. Wake Up UK, Vinnie Sullivan's, whatever it's called. The lot, all these things have done publicly. So when Jason says things, you have to take things with a pinch of salt. If he doesn't throw the evidence up, if Jason had something, he would use something all day long. That's the way it is with Jason. If he says, oh, I couldn't be bothered, it means he can't. He just can't. He's physically not able. Otherwise he would. Simple as that. Alright, let's get to the next one.
Hi again. I suppose pick up on something that you just heard. I'm still about halfway through listening, and you said kind of the terminology, the words that you've used about when I got his kid's address. Okay, I I didn't go and get in quotation marks his kid's address. I got his address.
No, let's stop you right there, Jason. There was two addresses. Dave, the person who had the piece of paper in his hand, which you gave him, or you gave him the digits to write it down on a piece of paper, which you got from A.D. Lang's t-shirt business, the person that I've already spoke to, as you full well know. Plus, Dave knows from Michelle Reed days that my address was already given out, and Dave's fully aware of that. You're fully aware of that, I'm sure, because you was around at the time, and you was managing Motivate under the name of Weber. Now, funny that your name was Weber, and you're now caught in a web of your own. Let's carry on with this message.
Okay. I didn't go and get in quotation marks his kid's address. I got his address. I mean, right, if you look at all the people in the world that ever got doxxed on YouTube or hi Kaylee, I'm still listening, Bob.
1 second. Right, I was going to restart that one again. I fucked it up. I'll add to it before I start this message. Not only with the t-shirt business and whatever, it weren't just an adult size. I ordered 3, possibly 4. I'll have to check the docket, which I've got. I've already put it out there many times. I've sent it to Vinna. I've sent it to Dave Russell. I've sent it to Jason Tyler. All these people are aware that I have got the evidence, and A.D. Lang knows full well. So, 4 kids t-shirts delivered to the address which was doxed, and they already know Michelle Reed a year previous to all this shit, at least a year previous to all this shit, I'd already give my address out. My address. Not my children's address, my address. Okay.
Hi again. I was supposed to pick up on something that you just heard. So I'm still about halfway through listening. And you said, not the terminology, the words that you've used, about when I got his kid's address. Okay. I didn't go and get in quotation marks his kid's address. I got his address. I mean, right, if you look at all the people in the world that ever got doxxed on YouTube or Facebook, okay, those people were doxxed. They may have had children, okay, most people probably do, but that doesn't mean it was their children who got doxxed, or it was that person's children's address, okay. As far as I was concerned, it was Rick's address, and we gave out 4 characters of the postcode. It wasn't a case of, oh look, Rick's got some children, they're living over here. If we get this postcode, that's his children's address, that'll cause some shit. No, it was just an address for Rick. Okay, and he knows that. He fucking knows that. You and I both know that when you say, my children got doxxed, my children's address, it's like, oh wow, look, he's gone after his children. Yeah, it sounds awful, doesn't it? Yeah, so I get it. It's very clever of Rick to do that, to divert to it being his children's address and his children who got doxxed.
Right, so clever of me. Now, when I've paid stupid money to fucking have 2 separate situations to put my family out of fucking harm's way, and I have done for a long time to make sure my kids are out of harm's way, how would it be funny of me? What, I'm just going to throw all that under the category of bad ideas just to make you look bad? Is that what you're saying? Does that make sense in your head?
He knows that Davey didn't read out 4 characters of his children's address.
I'll stop you again. Yes, he did. That is exactly what he did. He was there. Vinnie Sullivan was there. Alex Salimore was there. That idiot from Antifa Watch 2 was there. You all sat there and did that. Exactly what we did that.
It might have inadvertently been that, but Rick knows what the intention was, and we was only ever focused on it being Rick's address, okay? And the 4 characters of the postcode, not the full address. And all this about, well, if you type that in, then it only leads to one road, and well, who would fucking know that? You know, I certainly didn't. Davies.
Right, so okay, this is unreal. Right, this is coming from a person who's holding people's details, by the way. Holding many details. He's got over 25 whatever you want to call them, platforms, websites, not platforms, websites. He's got over 25 websites now. This person's got access to details even through something as simple as a t-shirt business. Now, I know hundreds, if not thousands, would have passed their details through that place. I've spent money in that place many times. Lots of people I know I've spent money in that place many times. I know AD on a personal basis. Some of the stuff he did for me, he did specials. Now, this particular order was ordered special. I paid a little bit extra. He did what I wanted to do, and I've got pictures of the t-shirts, I've got pictures of the whatever, I've got dockets, I've got the payment method. It is what it is. It is what it is. AD Lang was very disappointed, and last time I spoke to him was going to speak to Dave Russell. He was quite pissed off. Obviously so. It's pretty much destroyed his business and some of his credibility. I actually like AD Lang. I think he's been pulled into something. He is the victim. He is the victim in this situation.
And it didn't. And if Rick hadn't told the whole fucking internet, the internet wouldn't know. The internet also wouldn't know that it was his children's address unless Rick had gone and fucking told them. Because me and Davey wasn't going, right, well, Rick, we've got your children's address. Here's the first 4 characters. No, that's not what happened. You know? In fact, I think the wording was...
If it's not what happened, then premiere it on Wake Up UK. Premiere it to... and we can all make up our own mind what happened and what didn't happen. I see you've removed the videos again. I see you've got fresh takedowns again, Jason. You don't want people seeing them. Another one you took down when I come on, invited by Windy Miller, and All the Truth come out, and Windy Miller left that night, didn't he, Jason? See, you took that one down again. We are where we are. Now, I'll add to this. When you speak on ideologies, you will encounter real life threats. So to say, oh, no one would check, what an arsehole, what an arsehole. It's not rocket science at the end of the day. You can put digits alongside things and you can check things. Nothing else would come up, hence having to move fucking children, hence having to move fucking family. Now, I didn't put anyone in that situation. You did, by using somebody else's company details to break data protection laws, to dox my children, dox my... Well, you can say that, okay, you did it to dox me, even though you had my other address. You doxed me by doxing that house where only my family and children live. I don't live there. I don't live there, so you haven't doxed me. You can twist it and turn it as much as you want. I've told you a million times. I've got my own gaff. My family live separately. Simple as that. Now, how can you say you've doxed me? You haven't doxed me. Clearly not. So who did you dox? You doxed my family. That's why they had to move. We'll carry on.
Something like, I don't know what it was, but the wording when the four digits of the postcode were given out were squarely aimed directly at Rick, with no mention of his children. Okay, so this whole doxed my children, that's just over dramatising it to tug at the heartstrings of people that think, oh wow, he had his children doxed, but most people just realise that it's bollocks, because literally anyone who's been doxed in the whole history of the internet could go, well, they doxed my children if they've got any kids that live in the house, that doesn't mean that their children were the target of the doxing, okay? So, and is it even doxing when you only give 4 characters as a postcode out? If you wanted to dox somebody, I mean, let's face it, doxing is giving out someone's address with the intention of bringing shit to their door, yeah? If I wanted to dox and take shit to the door, I would have gone, here's the full address, and gives the full address out. Why was that not done? Why was the full address not given out? Why was that sort of held back? When the intention was meant to be to intentionally dox, And you have to ask that question. Why was the full address not read out? Because that's what normally happens when someone gets doxed. I mean, I've had my full address put out on YouTube. House number, road name, postcode, the lot put out. So that was doxing when your full address is given out. So, got to bear that in mind. I'm waffling, so I'm going to stop now and listen to the rest of what you sent me.
Right, so, okay. So, they've used trusted platforms at the time to read out 4 digits of my children's postcode, which only brings you to one place. For what was the purpose? What was the purpose then, Jason? Let's play your game and let's scratch back to the basics of it. What was the actual purpose of you doing that? You sat there, some of the shit was said, we're going to body a guy, blah blah blah, this, that and the other, and you sat there and you read 4 characters of my children's postcode out, knowing full well, between us, you had my address. You didn't choose to do that. I think threats have been made earlier on about vans full of lads turning up to my house and this, that and the other, and I told you point blank, bring it, as long as you come to my house, not bothered. And then the next thing, this happened, so I think everyone that was watching at the time, and anyone that watches it back now, can see exactly what he was doing, knowing full well. And if I'm lying, if I'm talking shit, whatever, get Dave Russell. Glenn's offer's already offered you this a while back and you ran away. I'll offer you again now, and if you want to play ball, I'll contact Glenn. You don't have to, because I know what you like. I'll contact Glenn and he can be referee to it all, and we can go through everything bit by bit and we'll figure out every last detail if that's what you would like. Not an issue to me whatsoever. Also, you can get Vinnie Sullivan. You can get Vinnie Sullivan to come forward, and we'll have a good chat about all this. Glenn can be referee to it all, and we can put all this to bed if you like. Not an issue. I offered you then. I offer you now. It is what it is. I don't lie. I don't need to lie. The truth tells the fucking story as it happened, without fucking false narratives and shit being pushed. Now, some of these messages just seem like drivel about more allegations. Brian this, Brian that, Brian the other. Brian Hurl, if you would like the messages, what he's talking shit about or whatever, by all means I can send them you. Just let me know, comments below, whatever, or privately. Now, I've not asked Umbrella, but I'm sure she'll be okay with it. I'm going to play Umbrella's response to Jason Tyler.
Jay, I completely get what you're saying about it not being a full docs. But this is the issue, isn't it? That you're like, okay, well, none of us realised, we didn't interpret, but that's the danger of what that behaviour does. I accept what you're saying, that it wasn't intentionally to go after his children, but then flip that over. You said yourself most people have children. So whether Rick himself is in that property or not, his children would still be there, even if it was his address, you know. I've been doxxed too, Jason. Like, it doesn't take anything away from anything. I've been doxxed. My entire address has been put out by the trolls years ago, probably 3 years ago now, the first time that happened. The whole fucking thing. In a chat. It was on one of Andy's live streams. I'm sure it's around somewhere still. But I've never done that. I've got people's addresses. I've never done that to anyone. I wouldn't. You know? So I call it out as shit where I see it, you know? And I do believe that what yourself, Davey, Posh Boy and Vinny did was wrong, you know. But then I've also said to Rick, I don't believe that is. Look, it's no secret. There's been shit put out about me. A lot of it obviously now instigated from Danny and AJ. A lot of shit put out about me. He himself, Rick, has put things out. He's apologised and he's owned it, you know. He's put it out. He's put out conversations, private conversations between himself and AJ where he's realising, oh, she actually has children because we're actually talking and he can hear them. You know, like, as far as I can see, he's owned that. But I can't take excuses for doing that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm very cut and dry, Jason, about these sorts of things. I would never do it. I don't share people's information. I don't put anybody in danger, even if I fucking hate them. I wouldn't do it. You know, so for me, my perspective, and again, I'm not sat here going like, oh, the rest of my life I'm just gonna be in bits because Jason never really fucking just really took it on the chin that was a fucked up thing today. It's not like that, Jay. It's just not. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and make that Rick made a massive mountain out of a molehill when at the end of the day, whether it was intentional or not, 4 of you didn't have the wherewithal to think about the implications of that situation, you know? And if Rick's done some stuff to you, I'll call him on it exactly the same way, you know? I'm just not the sort of person that's going to sit around and watch dodgy behaviour happen and say, okay, that's okay because it just happens on the internet. No, because I've been in a position a million times to be able to do that and I've never fucking done it. You know, and again, I can't talk for Rick, I can't talk for anybody else. Whatever anybody else has done about anything, it's down to you guys to figure out, you know, but my perspective is always going to be that is completely unacceptable behaviour, you know, and it's not me sat here telling you what to do with your life or anything like that at all. It's just not. But just to, like, that was a bit of a long message to kind of justify the situation, and I don't see there is a valid justification. I just don't. You know, whether Like, maybe I termed it wrong, but you know what I'm saying? You said it yourself. I don't even need to reiterate the same point. You said yourself, most people have children, so by default, when you do shit like that, you have to assume there's children there. It's just the way it is.
Bongo. Now, let's address what was your purpose then for doing what you did, regardless of whatever you're trying to make out and twist it to or whatever. What was the purpose of doing what you did? Considering I was pointing out scammers with a 20-year history of scamming, people that was trying to remove our constitution and leave us in a republic state, with bogus paperwork, while trying to pull Tracy Blackwell into a scam with the treasonous actions, and then later moved on because of lack of action from Wake Up UK, Vinnie Sullivan's pile of shit show, whatever it's called. What was the purpose of that night? Now, I've only consistently pointed out scammers for the whole time that have been around and spoke out from Graham Moore onwards. Now, a lot of people seem to be in the dark about the Graham Moore stuff, so I may do a live at some point, or a premiere or something of the sorts, of the old stuff with Graham Moore, and we can see where that went and whose fault that was, considering it's made out it was all my fault. We can go back over that just for anyone that's interested, just because I don't care, and I'll put whatever I want out. Jason Tyler thinks it's quite destructive to be able to take my channel down like I'm going to lose anything. I'll pull anything back from day one. Everything's backed up, everything's recorded. I get to this next message. But at the end of the day, they need to realise they've got to come up with something. They cannot just say, we had a purpose. What was your purpose? What was you trying to do? Stopping me trying to speak out, stopping scammers and an attack on our constitution, and trying to get our veterans and Tracy Blackwell pushed into some bullshit. The 6 videos are still on your Wake Up UK site now, not marked as a scam or anything like that. He's still in support mode, and he's still in contact with people like Andy Devine, which you've taught how to remove content and whatever. So we are where we are. People just need to know what you're about. That's all it is. Your new community needs to know what your old community knew. Right, I'm going to skip a few because it just seems to be Brian.
Okay, yeah, I've just listened to your message where you're addressing the doxing thing. And again, I don't consider, I mean, where do I start? Yeah, you're trying to say that, I mean, you used the word justify. I'm not trying to justify doxing. Doxing in its entirety is wrong. It should never happen, okay? But again, doxing is when you give out someone's full address with the intention of sending shit to their door, okay? And then if that was our intention, we would have given out the full address, okay? Which we didn't. When you hold back...
Right, okay, so the amount of people that have been doxed, on Vinnie's, on Wake Up, whatever, the amount of people that have been doxed, how many other people have you give out the full address? How many people have you give out live the full address? Not like the time that you give Joanne Solis details to Umbrella, even though Umbrella didn't want them and was quite pissed off that was the first conclusion that you jumped to. Not like that time. So who else's address have you ever done whatever and give a full whatever? You haven't, because you're very sneaky with the law, and you'll only do certain things up to a certain point. So unless you've got a comparison, it doesn't really work, it doesn't really wash.
Just give out like enough so the person knows you've got their address, but you don't actually give their address out. Then the intention is not to send shit to their door.
Alright, okay. So if I send you a picture of your house, your front door, like I did, Jason, you didn't have to go around telling the world where you lived. I still could do. I could read your whole address out on this and put it out in a video now. I've no need to do that. I'm not a scumbag. I've got morals. As simple as that. I sent you a picture of your door so you would fucking take your nose out of fucking business that was nothing to do with you. It had already fucking gone beyond the joke when you started doing stupid shit and getting people to do videos and all this other nonsense that was going on. Now you knew full well from the day after Sean lied and started going on about Osman warnings and death threats and all this other shit. You knew, and so did Tracy Blackwell and so did others, that it was a load of shit. But for 18 months plus, you carried on that campaign of hate, knowing full well the only fucking bit of shit was out there was my children's address. Full of shit, and you scumbag.
It's the intention to let that person know that you've got their address. Okay. So I'm not trying to justify doxing. I'm trying to justify that the intention was not to dox him. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, this whole thing with the doxing my children thing, you know, it almost feels, to use your words, disingenuous, because it's like he's using his children as a human shield, in a way. And the reason I say that is because there was no mention by Davey or me or any of his children.
So at great personal cost and fucking lots of problems that come with it and whatever, I've put my kids in another situation altogether, and I'm just going to sacrifice all that, throw it all in the bin there. Okay.
There was clearly no intention to dox children. I mean, I'm not that much of a fucking cunt. I'm sure you know that by now. No one intended to dox children. And I'm not even... I don't know why Rick has tried to put the focus so heavily on children being doxed. Because anyone could say that. This is why I said...
Right, what we will do, I'll go back after I've gone through all these messages, and I'll go through and I'll find the message of Justin's own words of how he come about my children's address. Now, the last order that was made to that t-shirt place was for 3, possibly 4 kids t-shirts and a couple of adult size hooded tops. So if he's gone and looked as he did, and you will hear by his own words, the last order he would have looked at for an address, bear in mind, it doesn't say my name on it. The letter that come from the police said Dear Rick. They don't know my name. So these people that have facilitated this to happen knew full well it weren't my house, it weren't my name, and the order had children's fucking wear on it. So to somehow all this time down the line say we didn't know, I'm sorry, but he did. And the fact that Adi Lang had been spoke to beforehand and preempted what was going to be said was obvious when I spoke to Adi Lang. I've got the call, we can play it anytime you want, again, anytime you choose. Or even better, I'll get Adi Lang on the show if he's all decide you want to jump on and we'll discuss it all.
You in the previous message that most people might have children, and if they get doxed, they don't all go around screaming that their children got doxed, because their children wasn't the target. You know. So yeah, I'm saying that doxing is wrong. I'm saying that I don't believe that we doxed Rick because we only gave out part of the address, and clearly, if the intention was doxing, we'd have given out the whole address.
Now, Michelle Reed, that was running your site, Wake Up UK, she was running Motivate, she was even running Mo's channel at the time. She gave out my shit. She gave out my personal fucking details a long time before all this shit happened. So you did know. You did know. You were very aware. There was an issue made of it. It was all done internally. This is what I'm saying. When I was doxed, nobody even heard of it. The only person that heard about it was Dave Russell. He was asked to deal with it internally. He did fuck all about it. That's what happened. All documented.
You know, it's clear what the intention was. It was to tell Rick that, you know, rein it in, mate, because we know where you are, you know where we are. Let's just stop all this crap, you know. And then to respond with, oh, they've my children, they've doxed my children. That was just weird. It was just a weird response, you know. And yeah, it did feel like he was using the whole, my children got doxed.
A weird response. Okay. See, Danny Jones and whatever, quick to turn shit round. Oh, here's pictures of Justin's kids. Here's his local boozer. Here's this. Here's that. Here's the other. Have you seen me put any of this shit up, Jason? Have you? It's on video. My response to it. I'm not about that. I am not about that. So let's look back then, Jason. You're trying to make out that, oh, it's nothing. You didn't target my kids. You didn't target my kids. So let's move on to my eldest lad, who's not under 7, who's fucking just shy of fucking 7 foot, who's not happy with you because you made out he was a racist. You made out he was a Nazi because he'd watched American History X. Because he'd watched that film, I encourage everyone to go and watch it. Nothing fucking like what Jason had made out, quite the opposite. You made out he was a racist. You put a video together. I think you got Tom Profit to do it. Putting all this fucking devil music and all this shit around it. All sorts of shit he did. All this shit he did or whatever. Now, I notice you've not put that forward and shown anybody that. You didn't do that, did you? You didn't get Vinnie Sullivan involved either, trying to justify certain symbols or whatever, which everyone's jumped to massive conclusions and come out of all this, oh, he's a devil worshipper and all this shit. You didn't do all that, no. Why would you do these things, attacking my children, to what? It's same again. What's the purpose? What is the purpose? I pointed out scams. I pointed out that Sean Morris, who you give platform to, as well as Andy Devine, that you give platform to, and King Krusty, that you give platform to, had, between them, been sucking in Tracy Blackwell and the veterans. Now, it's all on video. The 6 videos alone that you keep attacking the links of, and have done for 2 years, you nearly ended up in court for attacking the server, and you had to take your complaint back on the 13th day, before the 14th day come in. So, let's not talk shit. Let's not talk shit, because I think me and you are going to end up in court real soon.
As like a human shield, you know, a bit weird. So I'm not trying to justify anything. I'm just trying to add a bit of clarity to the intentions on that day. And I think most people know that he didn't have his children doxed. You know, as much as he'll probably screaming for the rest of his life. I had my children doxed. No, you didn't, Rick. You had your first 4 characters of your postcode given out as a warning to fuck off and stop all your bollocks. You know, and it's as simple as that. You know, that's not me trying to justify doxing. Because I agree with you, doxing is wrong. It shouldn't ever happen.
What did he say then?
But you've got to be clear what actually happened that day. First 4 characters of your postcode given out as a warning to fuck off and stop all your bollocks. You know, and it's as simple as that. You know, that's not me trying to justify doxing, because I agree with you, doxing is wrong. It shouldn't ever happen.
What did he say? Shouldn't have never happened, or should have never happened? I didn't get that.
But you've got to be clear what actually happened that day. And there was no mention of his children, there was no intention towards his children, there was no malice towards his children.
By this time, you've already been putting my fucking children on the internet. What the fuck are you talking about? You put his Facebook up, you put his fucking phone number out, you put all sorts out. He had to change his number and do all sorts because you use fucking wankers. What the fuck are you on about? You'd already threw my children under the bus at this point. What? Because he's an adult? Because he's an adult? He's not my child? It doesn't matter. Why would you use my child to stop me stopping a worldwide scam sucking people in? Oh, what? Because it was hosted on your platform and you might be accountable. But I come to you early on in the early days of this and showing you this is what's going on. Maybe you're not aware. And then afterwards, people were showing me, yeah, it's been on Wake Up UK. Look, bam, bam, bam. Here's 6 videos. And then you seen your ass and started trying to attack because you realised you was accountable and you didn't want to accept any responsibility whatsoever. And you're still hosting them videos now, today. So people are going to have a good look at you.
That's all come as a result of Rick responding in the way he did. Which was just fucking way over the top.
Sorry, Jane, no, I don't need to admit anything, being a bit weird and all that. You know, if somebody's kids get brought into shit, then no, it's not. You might think that he's sat there obsessing about you, but at the end of the day, was everything addressed the way it should have been? No, wasn't, was it? You know, whether you want to admit or not that it was in fact his children's address that was doxed, and we've gone over this already, Jason, like, you, even giving you the massive benefit of the fucking doubt, you'd assume they all live in the same house, right? So the kids would still be there. Simple as that. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. So he's obsessed, is he? You know, when stuff is like public, and then you want to wind it in because it gets uncomfortable, and now all of a sudden it shouldn't be public, and all of a sudden it's Rick, and all of a sudden no, that's not how it happened, Jay, is it? Alright, this shit was played out online, right? And his kid's address got brought into it. Now, whether you're meant to do that or not, it fucking happened, right? It happened. So I can't sit here and go, oh, Rick's just fucking going over shit. No. If somebody had fucked me and my family and my kids like that, I'd be fucking thinking about it 2-3 years down the line too. You know, unless the person that actually did that, or the 4 people that did that actually fucking came out and just owned it properly, and then we can move on. But no, I'm not gonna buy that. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm not trying to be a cunt. I'm really not trying to be a cunt. But at the end of the day, you don't get to say that. Oh, no one else cares. No, it's convenient for nobody else to care. This was Rick and his family that was involved, and they were the people that were actually affected by this situation. So are you really going to sit there and say that he's out of sorts by still having an issue with this bollocks? No, you don't get to just fucking go, okay, now I'm going to go quiet because I don't want it to look bad on me. You don't do that. I'm sorry, and I'm not being a prick, and I'm not trying to overly involve myself either. I've just been like wheeling tyres up to my allotment and shit, but I'm trying to catch up, and I'm just to there, but I can't buy that, Jason. I can't. You know? people's kids were doxed. Like, you just can't deny the fact of that. And you, like, even, it's kind of like, what's the word I'm even looking for? I don't even know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it's just like, it's a bit of a joke even that you're trying to make the statement that, yeah, well, everyone's got kids, everyone's got, so exactly why you don't fucking do that, right? I wouldn't in a million years, I will never in a million years. I don't know what you've done, what Jason, what Rick's done, what Danny's done, whatever. Like that. It's not my business. I don't care. I know what I know, what's brought to my face, and I know what's in my lap. I can deal with that. The fact that Rick has got an issue with the fact that his children's address that he had purposely put somewhere separate from himself to keep them safe. The fact that you can't get your head around why that's a big deal, it's kind of beyond me. Yeah, everyone's been a bit of a shit. Everyone's been a bit of a shit. Fucking AJ running around like putting my number out left, right and centre like it's all cool. Like Danny as well. Like fucking wankers. A pair of them. Wankers. Let's not forget, Jay, why you got in touch with me. It was to take down these people, wasn't it? Right? But at the end of the day, if you're playing the same game and you're doing the same dirty tactics, then what do you want from me? Do you expect me to sit here and go, all right, Jay's a really good guy, everyone else is a cunt? No, sorry. If you're going to sit there with Davey and Posh Boy, Sangmore, whatever his fucking name is, and Vinny and the other cunts, if you're going to sit there and do that shit and, like, literally be very proud of yourself for fucking doing it, then I'm sorry, you have to own the fact you fucking did it. Now, if you want to sit there and say, oh, it was like so 3 years ago, whatever, no, it still fucking happened. It still happened. Do you know, I did some shit 3 years ago that I'm still having to fucking pay for now. That's the way life works. Then we all have to come back to the table and go, do you know what, I fucked up. I'm going to put my hands up, say so. That's what I try and do. So I'm not even sure I started with this. I'm going to have to go back and listen again, but I wasn't feeling it so much. I don't do excuses, but oh, it's just this on the end. Oh, it's just no. Sorry, no. Not when children are involved. Have I or has Rick doxed you and your children? No. You have doxed Rick's children. AJ has doxed is it not doxed? Put my number out a million times. As has Danny. You know, there's no, call it what you want. Put a label on it if you want. I don't even give a flying fuck. Right, my phone was rendered useless by some cunts on the internet. I'm not down with that shit. And I'm especially not down with it when it comes to people's actual home addresses where there are children present. Not even just children, Jason. Children with special needs. There's no way to fucking justify that. I'm sorry, there's no fucking way.
I'll have to start again on this one. I don't know if I pressed it or I didn't press it.
I just listened to your voice message. The thing about the 4 children's Tommy Tops, I've got no idea. Never heard anything about Tommy Tops for kids. I'm pretty sure the Dragon shop never had Tommy Tops in it. It was only Dragon Tops and baseball caps and the Harrington jackets. I don't think there was ever 3 Tommy Tops. Was it before Tommy went inside even, when that shop was running? I don't know. I lost track of time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was all before the Free Tommy stuff. Maybe it wasn't. When was the Day for Freedom thing? I don't know. But yeah, I don't think the shop had children's Free Tommy Tops in it. If it did, then I didn't know about it. So I know nothing about 4 Tommy Tops being sent to the same address. Did you buy those from the Dragon shop on the Motorbike Radio website? If you did, then yeah, okay. If you did, then it should have been known that they were sent to the same address. that would only, as far as I'm concerned, that would mean that you live there and the kids live there. You know, we've all got kids. You know, I certainly haven't got.
Says that a lot, doesn't it? We've all got kids. So, you know, we've all got kids. You're very aware that we've got kids. Because you've checked them all out in a creepy way and put them on your own website. I've still got the videos. Let's see if you'll put the video up of the videos. Was it 2 or 3 put up of my son? Put the videos up on a link attached to this. Let's see how genuine you are. If there's nothing to hide, nothing to be ashamed of, put them on there and we'll see what people actually think of you, Jason. Quite disingenuous.
Any idea about 2 addresses or anything? If Dave did, then he never told me that he knew about you having 2 addresses. First I knew about that was when you responded to the doxing thing and started saying about the 2 addresses, and that was news to me. Regarding the doxing thing, who's involved, I'm not going to say.
If that's the case, let's get Dave on. You brought him in, you dragged him on, you put the fucking postcode to him. You bring him on, get Vinny on, get them all on, and Glenn Zaffer will do the referee stuff.
It wasn't me, and then sent everyone down the river. You know, of course I was involved in that. You know, at the end of the day, it's my website. It was my show. I'm not going to say I wasn't involved in it. You know, and of course because of the Dragon Shop involvement, it was me and Davey more so than the other people on there. So I can't even recall whether Vinny and Lee Shears knew that was going to happen or not, or whether it was sprung on them that night. I don't know.
Tell you what then, put that link on there as well and people can watch that for themselves, can't they? People have to bear in mind, my children don't live at that postcode no longer, so maybe omit the postcode, I guess.
I'll say probably they didn't know until that night. But as for the 2 addresses, no idea. As far as I was concerned, you know, in my mindset at that time, what I was doing was giving out a partial reveal of your postcode as a little hint just to back off and drop all the stuff that was going on. You know, it was never about putting anyone in any kids in any harm or any danger. And as I said to you, Rick, if us doing that did cause that to be the case, then I do genuinely apologise, because I would never target children in that way. You know, I don't think Dave would. I'm pretty sure Vinny and Lee would never target children in that way. You know, I'm not on best terms with Vinny right now, but I don't think he would ever do that with children. You know, I'd like to think he wouldn't. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't. You know, I'm pretty sure I know that much about you. You know, so yeah, 2 years of accusing us of doxing your children, when I'm pretty sure you know, or I hope you know, that wasn't the intention. However much it might have been the outcome, you know, the intention was never to dox your children. The target wasn't your children, and to push the narrative that we intentionally doxed your children is kind of wrong, you know. But yeah, it does put at the heartstrings, like I said. The whole body bag scent thing, I knew nothing about that. I'll tell you who told me about that. It was when I spoke to Tony, and she brought that up. That's the first I heard about that.
Tony Bugle.
So obviously you and Dave go way back. So Dave and you know things about each other that I've got no idea about. So I didn't even know that you and Dave really knew each other. You know.
Yeah, you fucked up a bit, didn't you?
I think you sent me some more messages. Let's have a look. The tax thing was Danny. So, yeah, I don't know where Danny's plucked that one from. You know, I really don't. Do you know how much you'd have to earn owed the tax man 105 grand. You know, it's mad. Really is mad. It's a total fabrication. The same as that message I sent you before that Danny sent to Angie, where he messaged her after her first show on Wake Up and told her that I was MIB, Metropolitan Investigation Bureau. Did they even exist? I don't know. Angie just told him where to go. And I'll send you the screenshots of that conversation. He will say whatever he's got to say and make up any shit just to make someone, to point the finger at someone and make everyone else point the finger at that person and just to tarnish their name. So, complete bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit.
I have to agree with Jason on that point, but it's very pot kettle Blackwell, isn't it, really? As of recent, Jason and Danny Jones are just two ends of the same dog. It's quite gross to look at, to be honest.
Money filtered in 320s was passed to me by a spy. See, you say, I'd have to check, but I think it was Vinny, not you. You accused Vinny of doing that.
Yeah.
Rinsing £300 a day through a PayPal, £20 at a time, which I know isn't true because he's fucking broke. The guy's homeless.
Probably right.
So I think he's a sofa surfer or something. I don't know. But I know you said before about being homeless, you know, recently, and he's like, so what, you know, so he ain't put you £300 a day through PayPal. I know that much. But yeah, it was said about me.
Bring Vinny, we'll bring the facts.
And then much later, the same thing was said about Vinny, and it just then became apparent that it's like a go-to thing that he said about people to make everyone prick their ears up and think, oh, they're scamming money through PayPal. You know, for me to be putting £300 a day through PayPal, I'd need to be having 100 people join Wake Up UK every day. That's not what's happening. So, yeah, this is Danny. You know, I think even you've learned by now, Danny's just full of bullshit, which makes you wonder what's lies and what's not lies. You know, mad. AJ has something you had on your computer. I think then he called it. You deleted it. Teams say you look like you're gathering info. Yeah, I've heard that. The data collecting thing. Data collector. Well, I was very conscious that people don't like giving their data out. Now, you know from being on the site what's involved in being a member. All you need to do is put your name. When you sign up as a member, you give your name and your email address. You don't put down your postal address, you don't put your date of birth, you don't put your phone number, you don't put national...
Anyone who's joined Wake Up has to join their Facebook account, so he has to be able to see your shit. Fact.
Insurance number, none of that. Just name and email. And if you want to go and sign up for an email account called joeblogs.com or joeblogs.hotmail.com and then sign up on the site as Joe Blogs, you can go use an alias.
How many people put shit on Facebook that they probably shouldn't?
I'm certainly not collecting anyone's data.
Your local area,
unless you want to count email addresses as data, but then how can you run a membership site without a way of getting in touch with your members? You know, it's the bare minimum that's needed. I mean, it's no different to you go on Facebook or you go on YouTube. Yeah, you have to have an email address to sign up for them sites. It's the basic minimum. So this data collecting thing doesn't really wash. But again, it doesn't have to wash. They can say it, push it out there. People hear it, and then they repeat it, and then it's before you know it's. Oh, did you hear about Wake Up UK? they're data collecting. I wouldn't go in there if I was you. You know? Again, bullshit and just slandering for the sake of being malicious because they don't like something I've done, whether it's they think I'm protecting King's Flag, protecting Andy, or because they both call me pedo protector. They think I'm sort of gatekeeper for Andy. I couldn't give a fuck about Andy or John. Really couldn't give a shit about them. They're not my favourite people. Never liked them. Always thought they're scammers. I've never defended them. You know, why they would think that I'm some gatekeeper for them too, I've got no idea.
You are on record teaching them how to remove evidence and videos and strikes and...
Right, I said, I'll be honest, I don't need to lie. Now, you say we have all done silly stuff. I've asked many times what is my crime, so maybe you can show me something silly. Well, yeah, the only thing we're not on the same page on, Rick, is, again, the Sean thing. You think he's done something. I don't think he has done what you're saying. So we've got a different opinion.
But you knew from the day after that you knew that
you
it was
think
lies.
he's involved, and I think he's not involved.
The day after.
So I think I'm defending someone that's innocent. You think I'm covering up for someone that's guilty. You know? So that's where we differ. All this King's Flag bollocks is... I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. All this hanging from lamp posts and shares, £25 buy one get one free shares, all that pedo fucking hosted, whatever it is. I've stayed well away from that from day one. I didn't ever want to get involved in Hampstead hosted shit.
It's on your side.
I see all that shit going on YouTube. I'm like, fuck that. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm not saying you've committed a crime.
Because I haven't.
I just think we're not on the same page on the Sean thing, which then led to a whole lot of slandering going on. So yes, slander's a crime. Putting out I've got £105,000 tax bill when I haven't.
That was done.
Putting out that I've rinsed money through PayPal when I haven't got a PayPal account apart from my own personal one I use for eBay.
That was Vinny, and he did.
Putting out that I'm a pedo protector.
You
Why
are.
would I protect a paedophile, for
You
fuck's
are.
sake?
You're on record
Putting
doing
out
it.
that
Andy
I'm a
Devine.
data collector. All these things
You are. You have.
are slanderous or libelous, whatever you want to call it, and that in itself is a crime.
If it's a crime, take me to court. I
And then
can
doing
show
videos
everything in
pushing
court.
those things
No problem.
becomes malicious communications and harassment.
Malicious
So
communication.
that's a crime, I
Showing you the
suppose.
truth.
Other than that, yeah, I don't think we've got much we disagree on. But that's enough to set people apart, isn't it, those things? Making up lies of death threats and hospital warnings. I don't think Sean ever said you were going to kill him.
Well, he has several times.
I think
All on
one
video.
thing you didn't mention a minute ago was the video you made where you said you were going to drive to Wales, kick his door in, and the next knock would be his teeth being knocked in and his head being knocked off and all
Knocked
that.
off.
You know, you could
Just
argue
don't
you
fall
wouldn't
off.
be alive if you had your head knocked off. So it's not quite a death threat, is it? Not really. It's just a figure of speech. But it was still a threat of violence.
Yeah,
But
a
this-
threat of violence, not
I
a
don't
threat of
think
death.
anyone's ever said you threatened to kill him. You know, that's a massive thing to claim. Even Sean's never said that you threatened to murder him. You
Yes,
know.
he has,
It was
many
just a threat of
times, all on
violence.
video. It's going to look silly in court,
You've
this.
admitted that because you said about the video you made where you said you were driving to Wales to attack him.
They're all on
hunt him
your
down and kick his
platform.
door in, and you showed the motorway signs, and you've bragged about how those videos were sent to you, and you were sat indoors when you made the video
Yeah.
with the motorway sign, and making out you was going down to. So you've admitted that you gave Sean the impression you was going to go and do him in. You know, you weren't going over there for a cup of tea, was you? Let's face it. You know, if you say you're going to go and see someone and kick their door in and kick their head off, you know, that person knows you ain't going to turn up for a cosy cup of tea and a quiet chat. You know, so to say it's not a threat, you know, you should own that one, Rick. You should be willing to say, yeah, okay, look, I did threaten violence towards Sean, and it'll be fair for you to say that you understand and appreciate that he was scared that you threatened him with violence, and that fear led him to do something to encourage you not to carry out that threat, which was the Osman warning. You know, so you lied about going to threaten him because you weren't even going to do it. You were sat indoors and someone sent you the videos of the motorway. So you lied about threatening him, and he lied about the Osman warning. So it's a bit of both, really, isn't it? It really is. And that's for the people that knew about it. I only presume that because he told me. I'm sure he told other people. I don't know who he told. I've heard someone say that Tracy knew. I think he told Windy, and he told Jamie Mitchell, or was that later that he told him? I don't know. I think it was later that he told him because they didn't. Yeah, because that's what Windy was bothered about, that he didn't know. He thought that he was left out of the loop. He had no reason to be told or know anything, you know. But anyone that knew that Sean was lying about the Osman warning, all they really knew was that Sean got threatened by some guy with violence, and Sean made up a lie to stop the person attacking him. You know, that's all they knew. They're not complicit or an accomplice in anything. You know, so.
That big swallow though.
It's really this last bit. People must be sick as fuck to let this go on for 2 years to escalate to where it did build on lies. So those people who knew, including Tracy, who knew it was lies, are complicit. I'm going off your words. Yeah, but complicit in what? Complicit in knowing that Sean lied to stop someone coming to his house and beat him up. You know, is that a bad thing? You know.
Is that a bad thing? Oh my days.
So yeah, that's the way I'm saying it. I'm saying if they knew that Sean lied about the Osman warning, and they also knew why he did that, because he'd been threatened by you, and you've admitted yourself that you did threaten him.
So let me get this right. This is fucking comedy gold. So Sean Morris jumps the gun with a letter that everybody agreed on, all these different groups and members of whatever, everybody agreed on a letter, everyone agreed on the date and the time, and Sean Morris jumped the gun days in advance, before the time and date, making it a treasonous threat. And when I'm watching the live while he's talking to Caroline Stevens, who also is on Wake Up UK, who also was witnessed at Pandora's Box when Andy Devine, John Manoa, Lee Kant was all exposed in front of a event full of people. Caroline Stevens was there. She stayed quiet while Gary was doxxed. His job was lost. Emma Ward was doxxed. Kids doxxed. All sorts of shit going on. Caroline stayed silent through this. Now, next thing is these two doing a live. Sean's bragging about he's gone and delivered a letter. Whoopie-doo, he's delivered a letter. A letter that everybody agreed on, but not before the date, not before the time. Now, Sean wanted to jump the gun and went and did what he did. I put a comment on his video on Caroline Stevens' live, Sean is a village idiot. He don't speak for anybody but himself. Certainly not for the 17.2. 17.4, whatever it was. is a prick and a village idiot. That was my comment. Now, I should be able to put that comment on that video and it not cause 2 outbursts of videos. Anyone can go and watch the videos where Sean's calling me every name under the sun. The amount of abuse, the amount of shit. I'm going to send this to Glenn. I'm going to send this to Tommy. I'm going to send this to the veterans. I'm going to send this. Everyone needs to attack, not just myself, but the, at the time, Pendragons. He made out it was a right wing group. Now, bear in mind, the Pendragons was a constitutional law group, far from anything far right, or on the right for that matter. It's law, it's what we're all based on. Doesn't matter whether you're on the left, the right, it makes no difference. Law is law, that's what we're about. And as I say, I'd left that group because of a grievance between myself and Dave Russell. Nobody was even aware that I'd left. They were still supporting Nathan, I was still supporting Gary. I just pulled away from Dave, didn't bother going on listening to his shit anymore, his pissed up patriot bullshit. And at that point, it all went a bit sour. And he started giving advice to people to not listen to Nathan, not listen to Gary, who have been proven to be right time and time again for however many years. Listen to Dave's bared up drivel because he wants us all to vote Tommy and vote back into the EU. Now, I'm sorry, but whether you like Tommy, hate Tommy, it's neither here nor there. Voting back into the EU for anybody or anything would be a bad idea. I don't know much about politics and shit, but I know that much. Now, I don't think that Jason realises how long I've been around, how many people I do know, how well myself and Dave knew each other. I don't think he knew that it was me that got Dave actually off his arse for once, and he brought Chick Ego, and we went to the Justice for Chelsea demo. Now, Dave getting off his arse was quite a big thing. At the end of the day, that's the time that he goes on about or whatever. Now, at that demo, I was given a Pendragons t-shirt. I was given it. Now, that's the t-shirt that Jason tries to reference to. I've never bought a Pendragons t-shirt. I was given a Pendragons t-shirt. There's a big difference. Right, I'm going to carry on with this message and just skim through towards the bottom. People can see why myself and Jason ended up not speaking. Bear in mind, because I was asked to by a couple of people, by Glenn, by Umbrella, by a few people, for the greater good. Let's try and do something positive. Hence the speaking to John Lawrence on Wake Up UK, which Wake Up UK